Hello everyone, my name is Rob, welcome to Kinetic Rugby League, and in this video I'll be breaking down the Queensland squad for Game 2 of State of Origin 2023. So let's get started. So the team that Billy Slater has selected for the Queensland Maroons includes Reece Walsh, Xavier Coates, Valentine Holmes, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidau, Maury Tuilagi, Cameron Munster, Dali Cherry-Evans, Lindsay Collins, Ben Hunt, Tino Fa'asu Malawi, David Fafita, Jeremiah Nanai, Patrick Carrigan. On the bench, Harry Grant, Thomas Flegler, Ruben Cotter, and Moeki Fotueka, and the reserves, AJ Brimson and Corey Horsburgh. So I want to break down a couple stats areas for this squad, and one way of looking at it is points per game. Now, a very simple way of doing it could be total number of points divided by appearances. It's a very easy thing to do, but I wanted to have a look at a slightly different metric, a different way of looking at points per game, which was I've taken the number of tries plus the number of try assists multiplied by 4, the number of points you get for a try, divided by the number of appearances. And that tells me specifically, on average, how many points that player is providing for their team. I would say a try assist is as valuable as a try. If you get one try, that is 4 points for your team. If you get one try assist, again, that is only 4 points for your team. So assists, for me, are just as valuable as tries. They still mean points on the board for your team. So, at the top of this list, unsurprisingly to most people, is Reece Walsh, with an average of 6.15 points per game. 6.15, that is ridiculous. That means, game to game, he provides minimum, on average, 6 points per game to the Broncos. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but that's one player of a 17-man squad. Just one. And other players with pretty good stats in that area, there's Tabuai-Fidau with 5 points per game, Cameron Munster with 5.1, Dali Cherry-Evans with 5, Ben Hunt with 5.85. That's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. Some decent numbers in there, Harry Grant with 3.38. And kind of coming out of nowhere, AJ Brimson, 5.14 points per game. So maybe there's an opportunity for Billy Slater to try and work him into the starting 17. I guess we will see. But in total, all points per games added together, this Queensland squad provides 50.01 points per game. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm coming out and saying that this team is going to put on 50 points. Now, they're capable of it, but let's not forget they're coming up against a New South Wales team which is going to be absolutely stacked. At the point of recording, the New South Wales team hasn't been announced, so I don't know specifically what it's going to be. I don't expect too many changes. Of course, the Nathan Cleary injury throws kind of everything into a bit of a question mark in terms of the number 7 role, but 50.01 points per game as an average with this squad is insane. And especially looking at the points that Ben Hunt and Harry Grant provide as number 9s is really, really strong. But let's start breaking down the spine a little bit more. So breaking down the Queensland spine, which will include Reece Walsh, Cameron Munster, Dali Cherry-Evans and Ben Hunt. Looking at their points per game, specifically for those 4 players, Walsh is providing 6.15, Cameron Munster 5.1, Dali Cherry-Evans 5, and Ben Hunt 5.85. Now breaking down their line breaks and their line break assists, Walsh has 10 line breaks in 13 games, it's pretty good. Cameron Munster is lagging behind a little bit with 4 line break assists in 11 appearances. Dali Cherry-Evans has 7 line break assists in 12, but Ben Hunt has 13 line break assists in 13 games, which means that on average, he provides his Dragons 1 line break per game. Now that doesn't sound like much, just 1, but think about it. If you get a clean line break, and you only have the fullback to beat, and you have a player in support, 9 out of 10 times that's going to end up being a try. Unless a centre or winger has read that really, really well, and has already been tracking back, 7, 8 or 9 out of 10 times that's going to be a try. So the fact that he can provide a solid line break per game on average is extremely strong from Ben Hunt. Looking at the kicking game though, Cameron Munster has an average of 257.8 metres per game, whilst Cherry-Evans has 435.7 metres per game. Insane numbers there from those two in the halves. Looking at forced dropouts, Cameron Munster has 3 this season, but tripling that Cherry Evans has 9 forced dropouts so far this season in the league. They're both extremely intelligent, extremely clinical. They know how to run a game. And I think Queensland, they've got it covered in the 6 and 7 role. 2 players that I'm really happy for in terms of being selected for this squad. That's AJ Brimson and Corey Horsburgh. I'm very, very happy for them. Because you look at AJ Brimson, an average of 5.14 points per game. That is 3rd best on this squad. 3rd best. Only behind Reece Walsh and Ben Hunt. 2 big names in the NRL. That puts him ahead of Tabai Fidau, Munster, Cherry Evans, even Harry Grant. You know, they're all top players. But AJ Brimson has 5.14 points per game. And he is huge for the Titans. People know what he's like. People know that he's a quality player. He's been selected for Queensland in the past. But I think this season people are starting to appreciate him a little bit more and put some more respect on his name, which is great to see. And I'm happy for him being selected in this squad. Even though it's just in the reserves, maybe he'll get the opportunity in Game 3. We will see. But Corey Horsburgh, extremely happy for him. He's worked his backside off this season. Good post-contact meters. Nearly averaging a point per game, 0.86. Has worked really, really hard. And a lot of opposition fans have been talking about him. I was seeing when the squad was announced, there are even some New South Wales fans that were extremely happy for him because they know that he's worked hard. They said that they appreciate the effort that he's put in for the Raiders this season. And it is great to see. It is nice when people, give credit and give props to opposition players, even if you are a New South Wales supporter. But yeah, I'm extremely happy for AJ Brimson and Corey Horsburgh, and let's see if they somehow make it into the team. But if not, maybe Game 3 is an opportunity for them. We will see. So I am going to close this video out, but I just want to pose a question to any Queensland fans. This is a food for thought question, and I would very much like to know your opinions. I do have a couple suggestions in mind as an answer to this question, but Dally Cherry Evans has maybe a couple more years left in him. Maybe he decides to retire from State of Origin early. We will see. But in the future, there is going to need to be a new number 7 to replace Cherry Evans for the long-term future. So my question to Queensland fans is, who would you like to see, maybe even as the immediate replacement, or as the long-term, so we're talking 5, 6, 7, 8 years for Queensland in the number 7 role? Let me know who you think in the comments. A few examples. We could have as long-term options as Tanner Boyd, but probably not my first option. You're also looking at possibly Braden Trindle, possibly Sam Walker. But I would like to know who you want to see as the long-term replacement. Maybe AJ Brimson slots into that role. Is he ready for it? Let me know what you think. But that's going to be it for this video. If you have any thoughts on this Queensland squad, let me know in the comments down below. But I will see you next time.